Ladies and gentlemen, I have always opined on this platform that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing just happens in politics for the sake of it. For those who've been following the politics of this country very closely, there's a lot of activities which are currently happening in the mountain. Why do you think those activities are happening? What are the objectives of those political activities? Who is behind those political activities? Rigathi Gachagua went back to the mountain recently, and you saw him meeting with Kenya Kwanza leaders from the region. Remember, this is a man who had been blocked from meeting members of parliament from the mountain by none other than William Ruto himself. You also saw Moses Kuria hosting meetings at Thika Greens. Ndindi Nyoro is also doing a lot of things at the background. And then we are also talking of the emergence of Mwangi wa area. He's coming forcefully. What is his mission and who is behind Mwangi wa area? And of course, one man, Maina Njenga, has been on the ground, consolidating, meeting student leaders, meeting church leaders, leading the youths in singing Kikuyu unity songs. What is his objective? So a lot of things, politically speaking, are happening in the mountain. And those things cannot just happen without an objective. But let us forget about those. Let us focus on a meeting that took place earlier today. And just because, and just like I've been saying, in politics, nothing happens out of pure coincidence. Mama Ngina Kenyatta today hosted Field Marshal Muthoni Kirima. For those who know the history of this country, Muthoni Kirima was the only woman who was a top-ranking fighter within the Mama ranks. And last year, Mama Ngina shaved her dreads. And that move was actually one of the biggest debates in the country. So their meeting today, in my view, is significant. And it's a coded message to William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. So in this video, I want us to look at that particular meeting because it's significant politically speaking. Field Marshal Muthoni was accompanied by her descendants to this particular meeting. And they were happy, you could see from their faces. They carried presents to Mama Ngina, 2 goats, which is also symbolic, and then assorted Kikuyu food to Mama Ngina. The visit was camouflaged as a thank you visit to Mama Ngina, which I know is not the case. Because according to them, they went to thank Mama Ngina for 2 things. Number 1, for Mama Ngina buying off a loan for them. They had, I think they had borrowed some loan which had accumulated to around 4 million Kenyan shillings. So Mama Ngina paid that loan. Then also Mama Ngina bought for them a 3-bedroomed house. So as a family, they decided to go and say thank you. But for me, I read a lot of politics in that particular meeting. So in this video, I want us to look into the details of that particular meeting. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or 2, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. So without any further ado, I want us to dive into this particular matter. But before that, allow me to thank the following people who I received their coffee earlier today. Kitazi, thank you so much. You've been consistent. Charles Musyoka, thank you so much. Okone, thank you. And Robinson, thank you guys. And you can also do the same on our usual numbers. Because I'm not going to edit this video, you'll find it in the description section of this particular video. Now, let us get back to this particular issue. And by the way, yesterday I was humbled enough to receive a phone call from the chairman himself, Maina Njenga. After I did that video, he was shocked by the content I listed there, and he thought that someone actually briefed me on his activities, which were not the truth. Now, what can you interpret this particular meeting? Because Mama Ngina Kenyatta was very clear on the issue of Mau Mau. This lady was a former Mau Mau lady, that Mau Mau, the true Mau Mau have been neglected. But what were the objectives of this meeting? Number one, I think Mama Ngina Kenyatta wanted to address the fake sons and daughters of Mau Mau, the Rigathi Gachagwas of this world. Because Rigathi Gachagua has been moving from one place to the other, one radio station to the other, TV station to the other, claiming that is the son of Mau Mau. And for me, this Muthoni meeting with Mama Ngina is actually a message to Rigathi Gachagua that is not one of them. It's a fake one. And Mama Ngina was very clear in her statement that there are people who now claim to be Mau Mau, while in real sense, they are not. I'm saying this because look at the people who accompanied this lady to this meeting. They're not being described as sons, grandsons, daughters, granddaughters, or grandchildren. They are being described as descendants of Field Marshal Muthoni Kirima. When you talk of descendants, and Rigathi Gachagua has also been talking of Mau Mau descendants. Remember, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was one of the Mau Mau fighters. So this meeting was a meeting about Mau Mau fighters. So whether the Kenyattas betrayed her or not is neither here nor there. The truth is, this meeting has actually unmasked Rigathi Gachagua as a pretender of being a Mau Mau descendant. So it's about the fake Mau Mau being unmasked here. Number two, and this is also very important, you know, this is the first, in quotes, public meeting we are seeing Mama Ngina after the raid in their farm. When Mama Ngina was attacked by William Ruto over the issue of tax evasion, she responded. She chose a church somewhere in Lamu and responded from the pulpit. And if you followed that response, because I did analysis about it, the choice of the church was significant, and even the place. So today, she's responding to Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto over that issue of the land by inviting Field Marshal Muthoni Kirima. Because most of Kenya Kwanza leaders have been justifying the raid under the pretext that that land belonged to the Mau Mau. So if there's anybody who knows the details about that particular land, then that person is none other than Field Marshal Muthoni Kirima. And because Muthoni Kirima was a top-ranking female fighter within the Kenya Lands and Freedom Army, Mau Mau, it simply means that Mama Ngina is telling them that as a woman, she's also willing to stage a fight. So that's the second objective. Number three, in my view, is that Mama Ngina also wanted to revive the issue of land equation in Kenya. I've always heard the Kikuyu nation claiming that Kenyatta grabbed their lands. That's true, they've claimed that. The truth of the matter is that if you go to Lamu today, you'll find Kikuyus there. They have a say in that county. They elect the governor, they elect the MP, the women rep if they want. If you go to Nakuru County today, you'll find Kikuyus there. If you go to Rift Valley, places like Eldoret, you'll find Kikuyus. In fact, even in Nyanza here in Moroni, there's a place there, most people don't know, which is predominantly Kikuyus. So the issue of land equation amongst the Kikuyu is something I think Mama Ngina Kenyatta is willing to discuss. He just wants to remind them, she just wants to remind them that Kenyatta, my husband, is the reason we have Kikuyus all over the country owning lands. And Field Marshal Muthoni can testify. So for me, it's about the land equation in the Kikuyu nation. Number 4, I also tend to think that this meeting is a coded message to Kenya Kwanza, that the Kenyatta family are ready for the politics. They are going to play it. They failed to play it. Now they are ready for the politics. So the first signal, ignite fire in the mountain. In Kenya Kwanza, things are happening. In Azimio, things are happening. Outside Azimio, things are happening. You know? They now play the game. And lastly, I also tend to think that it's all about a reminder to the Kikuyu nation about one of their own, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta and the former president Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Why am I saying so? If you look at the history of Kenyatta, he fought for the independence of the country and specifically the issue of land in the mountain. He died. Uhuru Kenyatta came, became the biggest defender of the Kikuyu nation when they were being kicked out of Rift Valley using Mungiki. Probably that can link you to the activities of Maina Njenga, which I spoke about earlier. So personally, this meeting here is significant. And I'll be waiting to see how Rigathi Gachagua is going to respond to it. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. By the way, tomorrow I'll be attending a funeral in Ndewa. So if you will be in Homa Bay, let me know. Let me know. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.